On this episode of Locked On Angels, Angels' second-round draft pick from 2024, Chris Cortez joins us today. We're going to ask him about his time in the org, where he's at in his development, and when we might see him in the big leagues. It's time to get locked on with Mike and John, and this is Locked On Angels.
You are Locked On Angels, your daily Los Angeles Angels podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SiriusXM by searching Locked On Angels. And if you'd like to give back to the Super Halo Bros for all the Super Halo content, here's some things that you can do. Leave us a rate and a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe and become a Locked On Everydayer. And whether you're watching or listening, come over to YouTube, leave a comment. One of the best ways to get in touch with John and I and be a part of the conversation. And this episode of Locked On Angels is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 bet and you win.
Thanks for being here for this episode of Locked On Angels, where it's your team every day. You've got the Frisch Brothers here with you, a.k.a. the Super Halo Bros. My name is John, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother John.
It's our fourth season as a host of Locked On Angels. We're here 5 days a week talking Angels baseball with you. On today's show, a very special treat. We have MLB Pipeline's 8th ranked Angels prospect and Baseball America's 11th ranked prospect, Chris Cortez. He was drafted last year. He's been in high A, and he's been tearing it up as a starter. We're so excited to have him on the show. Let's get to that interview right now. Well, hey, we're honored to have Chris Cortez with us. He is the Angels' 8th ranked prospect per MLB Pipeline and the 11th ranked prospect per Baseball America. Last year's second round 2024 pick for the Angels. Chris, it's an honor to have you here on Locked On Angels, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Chris, let me get started with the congratulations on your second round selection last year, being a top ranked prospect. That's awesome. So what was it like to hear your name called at the draft?
It was super exciting. I didn't know exactly where I was going to fall. So I was actually in the shower. I was in the shower, but I had my phone on ringer, and I heard it, and it was my agent, and I was like, "Oh no, I gotta get out!" She put some clothes on, and I ran to the balcony, and I screamed down the stairs, and I told my parents it's happening, right now it's happening. And my mom's like, "What? And I run down there, and I just caught it in time to where they said my name on TV. It's pretty special. My dad's from California. My whole family's from California, so it's really cool to be able to go back to a California team.
Absolutely. So what's been the adjustment like going from college to professional baseball in terms of what your life looks like, working with your team, your schedule? I know that, you had the 3 years at Texas A&M, of course, getting into the College World Series last year. But what's that transition been like for you going from college ball to professional ball?
Yeah, there's a few things. I know college you have school, so you have to balance the school life and the baseball life. Now I just have baseball. I have my outside life, but this is what I want to do. I have 6 games a week. College I had 4. Yeah. And so I just got to manage the workload a little bit, but I get to do what I love. I wake up knowing I have a baseball game, knowing I have an opportunity to go show what I was gifted with, and it's a great blessing. It's super fun, honestly.
No essays or finals due when you're
I don't have to worry about pumping out a 15-page essay and going and pitching.
Right.
Well, that leads to the most important question. Did you get good grades?
I did pretty good. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Pretty good. I mean, they helped out a lot, but I did good.
Attaboy. Now, last season you did some starting and some bulk relief in college. Now you've transitioned into what seems to be a full-time starter. So what's your mindset going into a game as a starter versus coming out of the pen now that you're in the Angels organization?
I think the routine is a big thing right now that I'm kind of learning. College, I had a routine, but as a reliever, I kind of just, sat down in the bullpen, waited for my name to get called, and then just had a super adrenaline dump, and then just go out there and just compete. I still have that compete factor and everything as a starter, but you got to manage your way through ball games and try to get as deep as you can so you don't ruin the bullpen. And I have the stuff to do that. With the sinker especially, I can have quick innings. So that allows me to get deeper into ball games and help our bullpen save the arms. I really like starting, getting the routine down, knowing when I'm going to start, knowing my bullpen days, knowing my lifting days. It helps out a lot, honestly. Bullpens, or when I was in the bullpen, you didn't know when you were going to throw. Kind of had a set day. Like in college, I knew I'd probably throw a little bit on a Friday, maybe on a Sunday, throw on a Tuesday sometimes. But starters, I know exactly when I'm throwing. I have the schedule, so that helps out a lot.
Can I ask you about something with, and I know he's a few years ahead of you. He's been up with the team for about 5 years now, but watching Reed Detmers out of the pen this year, the guy just seems like he has a totally different mindset, and he feels like he's really attacking. And it seems like that's something that he has needed to do as a starter over the last couple of years. Do you think that he's going to be able to take that kind of attack mindset back to the starting rotation? Because I feel like we all think he's going to definitely go back to the starting rotation at some point. Do you think he can take that mindset from the bullpen to the starting rotation? What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I definitely think he can. It's all a mindset thing. He has the stuff. Nothing changes. It's still the same game. Bullpen, starter. It's still, you got to throw it to the catcher and try to get the guy out. Nothing changes. So as long as he just keeps that mindset as he has in the bullpen, just takes it in the starting, he just treats it as 1 inning saves as a starter, and you just go as far as you can. So yeah, he has the stuff. There's no reason he can't do it. I believe in him.
Yeah, he's got great stuff, and that's kind of what everybody's been waiting to see. Is like, man, that stuff plays, especially. He's got that killer slider. Man, he touched almost 100 the other day, so that was exciting for us as Angel fans to see that from Reed Detmers. Now, speaking of stuff, the scouts, they love your sinker, they love your slider. They say that on your way to being a starter, you'll want to develop some kind of third pitch. Is there any progress in regard toward a third pitch, or because it's your first year, do you just stick with that kind of sinker slider combination for right now?
I throw 4 right now.
Throwing 4 right now? Nice.
I throw the sinker, sweeper, which is what I threw in college, and then I have the short gyro slider, kind of like a cutter. Yeah. And then the changeup, like I threw on Tuesday, and I threw that a ton. I've always had a pretty good changeup. I always just threw the sinker sweeper because it worked. Yeah. But now as a starter, just mixing that in as well. But I throw the short gyro as much as I throw my other sweeper. So yeah, I've been developing.
How does that work when you're adding new pitches to your repertoire? Do you sit at home and work on the grip while you're sitting on the couch, or do you talk to coaches? How does that process actually get started?
It's a mix of everything. Talk to coaches, teammates. I think you learn the most from your teammates, your peers. I think I've learned a ton just from talking to teammates, and I think vice versa. I think you're just more comfortable. I think I'm comfortable with our coaches. I love our coaches, but when you're with your friends, and you know how it is with your close friends, you can just talk to them and be comfortable with them. That's just how it is with pitching. I've learned a ton, so I just learn new pitch grips, what works for them, and then I have a ball all the time. So I have it in my truck, I have it in my room. So I'm always just mixing stuff, just seeing what feels comfortable in my hand. I don't have the biggest hands, so I try to figure out what feels comfortable to me, and then I just go play and catch play and throw it off the mound and see if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll try something new.
John mentioned scouts. I've always wondered, as a player, when you hear scouts say this or that about you, does it challenge you? Does it make you mad? Does it make you go, you don't even know me? Or, hey, that's a really nice compliment. What are your thoughts when scouts talk about you right in front of your face?
I guess you take what you need to hear, and then whatever's negative, you decide to go through one ear and not the other ear. Sure. But yeah, you can use it to challenge yourself, but I believe in the process and what I'm doing, They don't get to see what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't see what players are doing. So as long as you really just believe in what you believe in and what you're doing is the right thing, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, it's funny because all of the reports out there, yeah, sinker slider, and you're like, no, I got a 4-pitch mix going on. I got gyro slider specifically. I've got sweeper specifically. So I'm glad that you're able, from the man himself, from your voice, we get to have that clarification on your pitch mix. That's awesome.
Angel fans, we've been Angel fans for a long time, and we've had a lot of disappointments, specifically like regarding what happens in the minor leagues. And it seems like there's names that we hear about, but they never really break through until more recently. And so there's been a kind of a lack of confidence on the fact that Angels have been able to develop some players. Again, more recently, it seems like it's changing. Can you speak to that a bit, given your own experience in the Angels minor league system? Is there a sense that Angel fans can be confident that you guys are getting set up well to be able to make it to the major leagues and perform well?
Yeah, I definitely think you guys should be all right with what's going on. Baseball's hard, and you never know when it's just the switch is gonna flip. I always, like in college, I threw a 70, like my sophomore year, I threw like a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. It was bad. I didn't like, but you just keep working at it, and then just like I swear overnight, it just became what it was. And that's the same thing with development. Like you never know when it's going to happen. You never know when we're just going to be top tier. So it's just, I know it's been a struggle, but I believe in what's happening right now, and it's good stuff. Especially where I'm at, our pitching coach Doug, he's a really good mind. He tells you how it is, which is how I love to be taught. We have good meetings after my outings, before outings. We have all the resources that we need. There's nothing to be worried about.
Could you talk a little bit about that click, that shift? So like you have this 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and then something happened. What happened in your mind? What happened in your body? Can you give us some insight as to what you've noticed you shifted from it's not great to now it's great?
It's just trusting the process. I just kept throwing it. Kept throwing it. It was bad, but I didn't give up on it. I wasn't going to give up on the development of those pitches. And same with the sinker. I threw a 4-seam and it wasn't good. It was dead zone, and it got hit. I threw it hard, but it got hit. And I needed to change something. And I switched to a sinker. Wasn't good at first. Didn't really understand it. And then I just kept throwing it. And then bang, I found it. And I still don't exactly have it or know exactly what it's doing, but that's what the process is in the development of me being a pitcher. I'm young. Baseball's an ongoing learning sport, so I still have a lot to learn. But yeah.
I love Wonderful Pistachios because they're a great snack to watch baseball. It's good for those non-diagnosed ADHD people and the diagnosed ADHD people. If you get the in-shell variety, because you can fiddle with it and you pop it in your mouth, or you can get the no-shell variety, which is actually one of my favorites because it's a good snack throughout the day as you get busy. Wonderful Pistachios actually are one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you 10% of your daily value. They're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to keep you going all day long. So get snacking, get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. What sort of technology or coaching is available to you right now? Like, do you have someone, you said your pitching coach, like, is that the person you go to for questions? And then what sort of technology, analytics is the word that's used a lot in baseball. So when you go through that process, what is that process with people and what is that process with technology?
Yeah. No, I go to Doug, which is our pitching coach, a lot, just for the mental side of things. But we do have the technology to tell us like our first pitch strikes, 1-1s, rates to 2Ks. My bullpen's I don't really need the TrackMan. I don't really need a TrackMan in general. Like, I have the stuff. The biggest technology that any pitcher can have is their brain. Doesn't really matter what your stuff is saying. You can outcompete people. That's a big part of my process is, my how I go about things, how I think about pitching. But my biggest technology is my brain. But yes, we do get the TrackMan, we do get the Electronics, which is important when you're trying to learn new pitches. But I think I have my pitches that I need to throw. I just need to continue throwing them and working on them.
When you talk about the mental side of things and you go to your pitching coach and you're asking questions, what would be a question you would ask, or what would be something that maybe you would say, yeah, I'm struggling here. Here's the mental issue or the mental hurdle that I'm facing. What would that conversation be like?
I just had one the other day because my last start, I went into it thinking my reliever mindset. In the past, in the beginning of the year, I was super calm, chill, just go out and pitch, because that's what I thought a starter needed to be. And this last outing, I went in my reliever mindset, and I kind of just asked him just what his thoughts are on that. And he came at me with just whatever works, and I think that works. That's just how I'm wired. I just need to be a little bit just mad when I go out there and pitch a little bit. But I also need to control the frustration, which we talk about all the time. Like when I walk a guy, I get upset because I know I'm better than just walking that guy. And we always talk about that, just being able to come back to neutral faster, not in 3 pitches, but try to get back to neutral in the next pitch.
And so getting back to neutral, what do you explain that? What do you mean by that?
So there's like red light, green lights, and like yellow lights when I use in pitching. Green light is when things are going good. Yellow lights is when stuff is starting to get out of control, and red lights, okay, I'm out of control. So when you're in a red light, you need to have a release. So like I usually grab the rosin bag and I put it in my hand, I throw it on the ground. All right, I release everything that just happened, and I'm back in the green. Everything going forward is new. Past is the past. Yellow, I kind of just wipe my foot on the rubber, and I just take a deep breath, and I just go after it. And then green is just get my breath, go, compete.
And how much does the catcher play into that whole process for you on the mound? Are you somebody who relies on that, or do you have kind of a mindset of here's what I want to throw, here's when I want to throw it, and I'm moving forward that way?
Yeah, I think it's a little dance. We both work, me and Juan Flores and Peter Burns, we work very well together. It's fun because we'll call a pitch and I'll know, like, that's what I exactly wanted. We have like a flow state, and but they're also good at calming me down. They know me really well. We have a good connection, and they know, like, all right, he's a little upset. They show me a little calm down, and then I'm back to it.
With the pitch calm, and then like old school giving signals, did you ever pitch with signals, or have you always just worked with a pitch calm? And if you've worked with both, which one would you prefer?
Yeah, I think my freshman year we had normal signs, and then sophomore year we had a little wristband, and then my junior year we had the pitch calm. Now we went back to the just normal signs. I love the pitch calm because you throw the ball, and before you're walking back to the mound, and you already know the next pitch. And it's easier. Just, they say the pickoffs, everything's just easier. There's no sign stealing. And I feel like when it's verbalized in your ear, it kind of locks you in more. Because when you say sink or middle, I kind of just feel like I can just keep saying sink or middle instead of seeing a finger. I feel like it just locks me in a little bit better.
And when you get set on the mound, are you because you're going to throw your sinker? So when do you put your fingers on the ball? And I don't want you to give all your secrets away, but when are you ready to? I'm going to throw the sinker and I've got my grip on the ball. Are you doing that before you get into the glove? Are you doing that while you're in the glove? Or is that a secret that if you tell me, you got to kill me?
I preset the ball in my glove.
Okay.
So it's hard to get my pitches unless I'm doing something with my glove. I've known what I was going to throw, especially with the pitch count. That also helps. You know what you're going to throw, and I just preset the ball in there, and I just go right to the grip. So it's never moving around, nothing. Sometimes I'll fake moving it around just to try to mess with the hitter, but I just preset the ball in there and just go right to it.
The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel's making it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and even live during the game with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And with FanDuel, you get to decide which players are going to show up for the biggest moments, and you can track those trends and help you build to your next bet. FanDuel will help you combine live prop bets mid-game based on how the action unfolds. And maybe while you're watching, you have a read on who's heating up, and you can combine that in a same-game parlay. All this can happen on FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com, place a $5 bet. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, your teammate and another starter, Ryan Johnson, he got a taste of the big leagues immediately. And so have you had conversations with him? Have you talked to him about his experience? Have you learned anything from him? What are the conversations that you might be having or have had with Ryan?
Yeah, no, we talk all the time. He's an awesome guy. I've learned a lot just from watching him pitch. He pitched yesterday, and it was just a domination. And it was like, it wasn't like he punched out 6, but it was just ground ball, like broken bat, like often in the bat, just like 7 ground balls to like first base, like at like 50 miles an hour. And it's kind of just like an art to watch him pitch. And it kind of gives me confidence of just, I have confidence throwing my stuff in the zone. Sometimes my stuff moves a ton and it's just hard to get in the zone, but it just gives me more confidence to just like strive to just be in the zone more. And it just shows that when you're in the zone, like we have similar stuff. When you're in the zone, it's just they can't hit us in this league.
There's been a lot of fan discussion about the Angels bringing up guys like Sam Aldeguerri and Caden Dana and even Chase Silseth, who are starters in the minor leagues, but then they're using them in the bullpen. And so there are, all the experts have podcasts and don't play baseball. And so they're saying, here's how the Angels should use them. I'd love to hear your perspective as an Angel pitcher, somebody who's a starter. If the Angels called you up and you were in the bullpen, what would your perspective be on that? Do you think it'd be beneficial to you? Do you think that it would mess you up? Give us your thoughts on that whole process.
I think pitching is pitching, and if you ask all those guys, they'd be fired up to tell you, yeah, I don't care where you put me, I'm going to go on there and pitch. As a young kid growing up, your dream is to play in the big leagues. If it was to be a reliever, a long reliever, a starter, you wouldn't care. You just want to just go pitch and try to get guys out. I don't think it messes with your development. Pitching is pitching. I think your mindset might change a little bit, but I think it'll only help you because as a reliever, there's a little bit less room for error because short stances, you don't get to throw as long. If you walk a few guys, you kind of get pulled. As a starter, you kind of get to work your way through that. So as a bullpen guy, you got to really attack guys. So it teaches you to really just go after dudes. And then when you go back to a starter, it kind of just tells you, all right, I can go after guys and start from the first inning and just continue to go as long as I can.
Hey, when it's your time to join the big league club, what are Angel fans? What can we expect? What are we going to get? What is everybody going to say about Chris Cortez? Broadcasters, coaches, teammates. What are they going to say about you when your time comes?
You're going to get a competitor. Even on good days, worst days, you're going to get someone that's going to give you the best chance to win a ball game. It's just that bulldog mentality. Good stuff, bad stuff, I'm going out there and I'm going to try to do the best I can to help the team win.
Chris, is it surreal to be in the minor leagues and potentially have a future in the major leagues? Like, have you had a moment where you're like, am I dreaming? Is this Inception? Like, what's happening in my life right now? So tell me your thoughts just about that.
I'm really blessed to be able to play baseball for a living, and I don't really think about it as a living. I just get to play baseball, and just I happen to get paid for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that would want to put themselves in this position to play, and I don't ever take that for granted. There's also a lot of things in life that's a lot worse than just being able to go play baseball. So you have to put things into perspective. I get to play this game. There's other things going on in the world that they probably wish they could be able to play, and I use that mindset in everything that I do, and it really keeps me grounded and humbled.
If roles were reversed and you're hosting Locked On Angels, you're hosting a podcast, and you would want to identify some of your teammates, you would want to shout them out because Angel fans need to pay attention to them. Who would be the players, pitchers, infielders, hitters? Who would be the guys you're like, hey, you got to pay attention to these 3 or 4 dudes?
I'm a big teammate guy, so I'd say my whole team. Like,
yeah. Right answer.
But there's a lot of guys that don't get seen or talked about, and they have the same process every day, and they're working their tail off, and it's right there. Like a Randy De Jesus, he's right there. He's young, but he's right there. The Juan Flores, he's young, but he can catch the ball. He can really catch it. But there's time of development. He's 19. When I was 19, I wasn't good. I was terrible. He's light years ahead of me, baseball wise, when I was 19. So it's super exciting for that. We got Peter Burns. He's works his tail off. Works his tail off. He doesn't get as many opportunities, but every time he's in there, that's like the perspective thing. He's grateful to be in there, and he's going to give everything he can when he's in there. And I love throwing to him because I know what I'm going to get back there. I know he's going to be a hockey goalie if I throw a sweeper in the ground, and he's going to take it off the throat. That's the guy I want to be behind. But no, there's a lot of guys. Placencia, Vera. There's so many guys on this team, especially that are just right there on the verge of being something very special.
Is there anybody in the Angels organization since you've been drafted that you had a conversation with that you were aware of in the past? Maybe a former player that you had a moment where you're like, I'm shaking the hand of Tim Salmon, or I'm talking to this person. Is there anybody that it's been a surreal moment for you?
I was in a hot tub with MIKE TROUT.
Was it a hot tub time machine?
Yeah, that was actually insane. It was just me and him, just in the hot tub talking about college.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's growing up watching him, not really thinking that you'd ever be able to meet him, and now I'm in a hot tub. That's just a weird spot, but it's in a hot tub with him, just rehabbing in there.
Hey, thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Now for your second listen, check out the new Locked On MLB Game Night. Brother John's on there and other great hosts. Every game, every night, all season long. You can find Game Night on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, be sure you give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On Angels and connect with Mike and I on Twitter and Instagram at Super Halo Bros. Mike, on Monday, we're going to recap the weekend that was here at Angel Stadium, but also we got ourselves a little bonus episode for Saturday, don't we?
Yeah, we have episode 2 with Chris Cortez. A lot of good content, a lot of good conversation. So get the second half of that interview on Saturday on Locked On Angels. Special episode Saturday.
We owe you for last week. I think it was Antonio in our comments who said you buttercupped us last week. So I think that's sorry about that. So yeah, we'll have part 2 of that interview, and then of course we'll recap the weekend, and we hope you have a great one. Until then, my name is John, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother John.
Thanks for being here with us, everybody, and we'll see you back here, Saturday and on Monday.